starts now.
A chaotic and frightening scene early this morning in an arts festival in New Jersey. Good evening, I'm Blake Salmon.
And I'm Emily Spain. Thanks for joining us. A gunfight sent revelers scrambling for cover. One person is dead and more than 20 others were injured. NBC's Blake McCoy has the story.
A gunfight in Trenton, New Jersey overnight, sending bullets flying and people running.
It was like pow, 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 pow. And there was 2 or 3 people that went down right 20 feet from me.
Anybody hit? Anybody hit over here?
Chaos in the moments after as the panicked crowd, some injured, poured into the street. The violence shattering a 24-hour Art All Night festival meant to bring the community together. This photo taken hours before. 17 people were shot, including Irvin Higginbotham, hit 4 times in the leg.
The kids out here with these guns and stuff, it's no good. Put the guns up, go about your life, get an education.
Police have recovered multiple guns and believe it was a gang-related dispute. One suspected shooter is dead, 2 others hospitalized. This is a community that knows violence all too well.
To me, it's like a normal thing. It's like, is it ever going to end? I don't know.
The violence, you say, has become normal here?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Shouldn't have to be that way.
Trenton's mayor pleading for peace, not just here, but across the country.
All shootings, whether large or small, are a crisis. This isn't just a random act of violence. This is a public health issue.
That was NBC's Blake McCoy reporting. Prosecutors say police killed the 33-year-old suspect who had just been released from prison on homicide-related charges. Another 23-year-old man was arrested on weapons offenses. Protests in Texas today in response to tents being set up to house children separated from their families at the border. Hundreds gathered in southwest Texas for the march. U.S. Representative Beto O'Rourke, who serves the El Paso region, helped organize the event. The Democrat has spoken out about the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy before. The policy has reportedly separated nearly 2,000 children from their parents since April.
Those who are in the most desperate circumstances, at their most vulnerable, asking for our help, our shelter, our asylum. And that's the story of America for 230 years. I want to make sure it's the story of America going forward, that we are there for the people of the world when they have nowhere else to go.
People traveled from across the country to support the representative's claim that the policy is, quote, inhumane. At least 5 people were killed in South Texas today after an SUV crashed while being chased by Border Patrol and a local deputy. Dimmitt County Sheriff Marion Boyd says the vehicle was carrying undocumented immigrants. He says Border Patrol started the chase and then a county deputy took over. 12 people were ejected, according to the sheriff, and at least 5 died.
Several members of Congress performed a surprise inspection of an ICE detention center on Sunday. Democrats representing New York and New Jersey came to protest the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration policy. All Democratic members who stood in solidarity on Sunday vowed to fight policy that separates children from their families.
They came to this country in search of the protection and the refuge that the proud inscription on the Statue of Liberty promises to those fleeing terror. But instead, they are being welcomed by more terror. What can be more terrifying than having your 7-year-old taken out of your arms, and more cruelty?
NBC News reports Attorney General Jeff Sessions mandated the policy to separate children from their parents.
The U.S. Border Patrol's Rio Grande Valley sector chief spoke at a news conference discussing the zero-tolerance policy Sunday. Chief Manuel Padilla Jr. spoke to press about how the zero-tolerance policy impacts the Rio Grande Valley. Padilla also provided statistics on the current trends and issues at the border. After the news conference, the media was provided with a walkthrough of the centralized processing center.
By law, nobody can be in this facility for 72 hours or more than 72 hours. This is not a detention facility. It's truly a processing and transition facility to the ERO facilities or HHS facilities that are long-term.
And again, according to NBC News, almost 2,000 children were separated from their families at the border during a 6-week period. In a statement from the First Lady's spokeswoman, it says, quote, Mrs. Trump hates to see children separated from their families and hopes both sides of the aisle can finally come together to achieve successful immigration reform. She believes we need to be a country that follows all laws, but also a country that governs with heart.
Denver Pride Fest kicked off this weekend, and the two men who were denied a wedding cake are leading the parade that means so much to them. David Mullins and Charlie Craig will lead the Pride Fest parade as the Grand Marshals. They're the couple who went to the Supreme Court after suing Masterpiece Cake Shop in Lakewood when the baker wouldn't make them a cake. Ultimately, the court ruled in favor of the cake shop. The theme of this year's Pride Fest is Say It Loud, Say It Proud.
We are Grand Marshals of Pride this year, which is an incredible honor. You know, we feel kind of like we get to be prom kings.
The first LGBT Pride celebration in Denver took place in 1975. A man dressed as a drag queen says he was viciously beaten in San Francisco during Pride Month. Tim Tate, who was a popular drag queen named Ginger Snap, says he was walking home from the bar when someone attacked him. He says he wasn't robbed, but still wound up with 6 stitches in his head and bruises all over his head and body. He believes whoever assaulted him targeted him because he had just come out of a gay bar.
It was more of a hate crime, and I'm calling it a gay crime because he knows it's a gay bar. And the fact that he didn't take anything, I feel like he just wanted to hurt somebody.
Tate says he's talking about the assault because he wants people to be aware.
Walmart lost some big money after a 23-year-old made a fraudulent return in Arizona. Police arrested the man for purchasing computers at Walmart, then allegedly removing important parts and then returning the computers for a full refund. Thomas Frudeker was taken into police custody on Wednesday. Investigators learned this wasn't the first time. He's allegedly pulled the same trick at more than 1,000 Walmarts across the country. In the process, Walmart lost $1.3 million. Heavy rains and flash flooding has caused massive damage in Michigan. Heavy rain has washed out roads and flooded basements in Houghton County. Numerous roads are impassable. There have been more than 60 reports of sinkholes and washouts. The National Weather Service says the rain started shortly after midnight, and in a matter of hours, over 6 inches of rain fell.
Here at home, we have an excessive heat advisory that is in effect until Tuesday morning. I'll have your latest information on that, as well as when we could have some rain in our forecast coming up.
We could sure use that rain. Thanks, Megan. The summer heat is back. How to know when something is more than just heat exhaustion.
Plus, how Columbia residents feel about calling Como home. That's up next.
Get where you're going faster with the KOMU8 Weather and Traffic app, bringing you mid-Missouri traffic in real time. Download the free KOMU8 Weather and Traffic app. Coverage you can count on.
Woodman Engineering has been family-owned for nearly 90 years, servicing, repairing, and installing air conditioners in Jefferson City and the surrounding areas with reliable 24-hour emergency service and fair pricing. They specialize in residential and light commercial. Your home's comfort keeper. Woodman Engineering.
This is my Toyota Corolla. It has 17-inch alloy wheels, premium seats, and a gorgeous aerodynamic frame. People keep whistling at stoplights. Pretty sure it's a big car. Still, for style that demands attention, I give my Corolla 5 whistles.
Tested, trusted Toyota. Lease a new 2018 Corolla for $199 per month, including $1,500 lease bonus cash, or get $1,500 customer cash. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Big is where it's at.
Nothing wrong with small.
Slumberland's Any Size One Low Price Mattress Sale is back. Choose any size.
Big.
Just one low price.
Small.
Get a Sealy Twin, Full, Queen, or King mattress, just $99. Slumberland, it's a good life.
At Slumberland, we'll meet or beat any price. Or we can do a lot better than the Tooth Fairy. We'll give you $100.
It's the Dream Team 30-day price guarantee.
And it's only at Slumberland.
Where can you find world-class dining without traveling the globe? University Club of MU invites you to join our member family and experience the very best cuisine, event service, and private membership amenities Columbia has to offer. Membership includes special events. Join Wes Hagen, winemaker for J. Welks Wines, as he shows you how to blend wines. Guaranteed to be the most fun, instructive, and practical wine tasting you've ever been to. Learn more and reserve your seat to this incredible event by calling 573-882-2586.
Credit challenges? Turn down for a car loan? Get to the J.D. Byrider Green Tag event. The green tags mean you could drive today starting at $99 down. Affordable payments on better cars that are inspected, computer tested, and backed by a 3-year, 36,000-mile zero deductible warranty. And oil changes are free for our customers. $99 to $499 can get you into a better car today. Hit GoJDB.com to get started.
Woodman Engineering has been family-owned for nearly 90 years, servicing, repairing, and installing air conditioners in Jefferson City and the surrounding areas with reliable 24-hour emergency service and fair pricing. They specialize in residential and light commercial. Your home's comfort keeper. Woodman Engineering.
The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by the law firm of Harper, Evans, Wade, and Nettemeyer. We will fight for you.
Welcome back to KOMU 8 News at 9. Here's a look out over the Columbia Regional Airport all throughout the day today. We did have quite a bit of warm weather yet again today, as well as plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Our high temperatures did reach the mid-90s, but our temperatures were feeling like the lower 100s. It was very muggy, and that has been the trend. That trend is expected to continue for one more day. We do have an excessive heat advisory that is still in effect. That's going to last until Tuesday morning at 1 a.m., and that's for all of our counties. So if you're going to be outside in the meantime, make sure you're taking care of yourself, staying hydrated, finding shade when you need to. You can really see where we're trapped in this heat bubble across the country right here. The good news is, as you look out west, those cooler temperatures, that's what's to come over the next couple of days. Really breaking that down here, tomorrow is going to be a day much like today. 95 degrees for the high temperature on Monday, but we do drop to 90 for Tuesday. For both Tuesday and Wednesday, we have a chance for rain that is expected to help our temperatures cool off. And if you look at Thursday and Friday, our temperatures are going to be trending very seasonal. 84 degrees is expected for both days, and that is our average high temperature for this time of year. Thursday is the summer solstice and the first day of actual summer, so it's good to be seasonal for that. On our satellite and radar, we did have a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms earlier this evening, but we're just looking at some light cloud cover and clear skies heading into the evening hours. As we zoom out here and look at the big picture, off to our west is a low-pressure system attached to a stationary front. That's causing some active weather out to our west, and the good news is that is expected to bring some much-needed rain here to home for both Tuesday and for Wednesday. Really breaking that down here with our precipcast. For tomorrow, Monday, we're expecting to see a mix of sun and clouds. A pop-up shower or thunderstorm is not out of the question. As we move into Monday, into Tuesday morning, we're expecting mostly clear skies for Tuesday morning. Things are going to change by the afternoon hours. You can see some of this rain is going to start to push in, coming from the north. Now this is going to be a kind of a two-round sort of deal. We're going to see one wave of rain on Tuesday and then another for Wednesday. In the afternoon hours is when you can expect that. Jumping back to tonight, we still have a lot of heat and humidity in our atmosphere. It was a warm day. That humidity is going to stick around. 76 degrees is going to be our low overnight, and that's going to be under mostly clear skies. Those southerly winds at 5 to 10 is what's really bringing in a lot of this humid and warm air. For tomorrow, like I mentioned, a day very similar to today. 95 degrees is going to be our high temperature with those southerly winds. Our heat index has it feeling like 100 to 105 degrees tomorrow. So if you're outside, take care of that excessive heat advisory. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. For Tuesday, 90 degrees. We are on a cool down. Tuesday and Wednesday, that chances for rain. And look at Thursday and Friday. Both are going to be very seasonal days, but that relief is only temporary. We do look to warm up by next weekend. And with all this heat and humidity, make sure to join our KOMU 8 fan club. You can donate a new or gently used fan to the Lowe's in Columbia or the Westlake Hardware in Jefferson City and in Fulton.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. Speaking of those hot temperatures, the heat has safety officials advising people to take extra precautions when dealing with the hot weather and related illnesses. If you or someone you know are showing symptoms of nausea and mild confusion after being in the heat, well, it's time to head inside. Both are signs of heat exhaustion. After you get to a cool area, drink cold liquids every 15 minutes. But Columbia Fire Department's assistant chief says you'll want to respond differently if it's heat stroke.
If someone is experiencing heat stroke, that's extreme irritability or hallucinations, seizures, unconsciousness, then you want to call 911 and get them in a cool place. Don't give them anything to drink and wait until emergency services arrive.
Frazier advised against giving water to anyone throwing up because of a heat-related illness. Officials say to save going out for the early morning or later in the evening.
But despite the heat today, horses and their riders still showed off their stuff in Rocheport to raise some money. Sunny Oak Farm provides horse riding lessons for people of all ages with disabilities. The horse riding teachers and the riders often get a lot of the credit, but the founder of Sunny Oak believes one more thing needs more credit.
I think the horses all should get more credit than they do. And I might be a good riding teacher, but it's the horses that teach these kids to ride. So the horses are really our teachers.
Sunny Oak has a horse show every June and September, with proceeds always going to their therapeutic rides and summer riding camps.
A Missouri prison remains on lockdown more than a month after a protest turned into a riot. Inmate activities are restricted at Crossroads Correctional Center in Cameron since May, when dozens of inmates damaged dining halls, the kitchen, and other property. Inmates were angry because of the loss of programs and recreation time due to staffing shortages. Corrections officials say the lockdown is necessary because of repairs. Inmates get only SAC meals and no phone calls or visits other than with their attorneys.
At tomorrow night's meeting, the Columbia City Council will discuss the findings of the 2017 Community Survey. 850 Columbia residents responded to the survey, designed to track community preferences and city performance. It found 74% had a positive view of the city and 73% were satisfied with city services. Columbia residents say they hope the city continues to improve.
Columbia, on the other hand, is still a growing community. It's been really good to me. For 7 years, and I expect it to keep continuing to get better, but we'll just have to see.
The survey also found Columbia ranks 15% higher than the Missouri-Kansas customer satisfaction average and 21% higher than the national average. A long voyage is over after 600 migrants find a new place to call home. That's after the break.
You can sweep it, you can scrub it, you can toss out the dirty governor, but you won't clean up Jefferson City with Josh Hawley around. After taking 50 grand, Hawley dragged his feet on investigating Greitens. Now Hawley's running from another dirty scandal, refusing to investigate an allegedly illegal pay-to-play scheme involving a donor who gave Hawley's campaign nearly $3 million. Josh Hawley, another politician we can't trust, as MP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
View local news, your first alert forecast, and local sports scores no matter where you are. Visit KOMU.com/mobile to get KOMU8 news on your mobile phone.
We were struck by a drunk driver, rear-end collision. I ended up having surgery 5 days later. They were very driven, and results with all of them combined together, it just made the best team for my case. I definitely got the results that I needed.
There are friends, neighbors, even our children, victims of the opioid abuse epidemic in Missouri, claiming lives, costing billions. Attorney General Josh Hawley is fighting for solutions, taking on opioid manufacturers in court, and leading a coalition of state attorneys general demanding legislation to crack down on illicit opioid sales. To protect your family, urge Josh Hawley to keep up the fight so opioid manufacturers do what's right. Help end the opioid abuse epidemic.
They just are very patient and took the time to take all our worries and kind of bring them on herself and just give us more peace of mind with what we're going through. And they just do everything in a timely manner. They really actually care about their clients.
Welcome back. Angelina Jolie toured a refugee camp in Iraq today. The actress and activist met with families, calling attention to their difficult and dangerous situation.
She's a special envoy for the United Nations Refugee Agency. She walked through the camp with an agency staff member. The camp houses 33,000 Syrian refugees. The camp's population has only grown since opening its doors back in 2011. Jolie says the world is failing to properly invest in the Syrian refugee crisis. This year, the UN agency only received 50% of the funds it needed.
18 people lost their lives during a suicide bombing in Afghanistan. The bomber targeted Taliban fighters, security forces, and civilians celebrating a holiday ceasefire. The bomb went off at a crowd of people as they were leaving. This comes just a day after yesterday's attack in the same city, which the government said killed at least 36 people and wounded 65 others. No one has claimed responsibility for the attacks. A driver is in custody today after a taxi in Moscow crashed into pedestrians near Red Square yesterday. They were on the sidewalk. The taxi reportedly approached a stopped line of cars, then veered onto the sidewalk, striking pedestrians. The car then hit a traffic sign. The driver ran away, but eventually authorities caught up to him. 8 people were hurt. The agency that monitors Moscow's traffic safety told police the crash was not intentional. A migrant rescue boat turned away by 2 countries arrived in Spain today, ending its long voyage.
Officials greeted the migrants at the port of Valencia as they debarked. It swooped in to help over 600 travelers on board after Italy refused to let it dock. All 629 migrants will be granted entry for 45 days for humanitarian reasons.
And in moments like these, it is important, to have principled humanitarian action like Spain did in welcoming, people in need when others were rejecting them.
Spanish officials say the migrants will be able to apply for refugee status, which will be granted if they fulfill the requirements. Immigration will be a hot-button issue at the EU Leaders Summit next week.
College World Series, World Cup, U.S. Open, and more. A busy day in sports. We've got it all for you coming up after the break.
With plenty of sunshine tomorrow, our sun sense numbers will reach a 10. That's on a scale of 1 to 11. If you're going to be outdoors, make sure to bring that sunscreen. That's brought to you by the Despain Casey Dermatology Center and Medical Spa.